Push that.
Off rebel. I got the wrong gun for this dude.
Yeah, one rebel here. Okay, thank you.
Dead, that's sledge.
Yeah, nice. Still rebel on west side.
Struggling with how to quick peek or looking to see which keybinds can be used for the quick peek if it is too hard with the default keybinds? No problem, we'll have a quick peek guide. We have had already how to peek guide, repelling guide and as well as angles guide. If you're interested in your ranked, scrim, tournament, match reviews as well as the EU League match reviews, make sure to drop info on the stream. More info in the pinned comment messages. I will give you a few suggestions which keybinds to use for the quick peek, but slightly bit after because it is more important to understand when you should quick peek and why. Let's start off with a very simple question and then I will give you the answer after. Imagine yourself behind the server racks in the bank, as we are right now. You are unsure if someone is holding the angle on you from the dirt. Do you quick peek? Or 2. You're in the villa, bedroom, and you know that someone is in this corner where the prisma is. Before you enter in a gunfight, do you enter whilst leaning or not? What if you don't know if someone is there? The final question. You are by the bottom of the clubhouse stairs and you want to come all the way to the right side. Do you quick peek or not? To recap, in A we have a server rack to dirt quick peek. B. Villa, but the defender is known to be by the corner of the triple walls. C. Villa, but you don't know if there is any defender there. And D. Clubhouse, trying to go toward the other side. If you have found these examples familiar, you probably should have. If you know why these are familiar, let's not spread that out as that's not the main focus of the video. To all the questions but A, the answer is generally you should not quick peek in these situations. In the B, you should be leaning before the gunfight. It is very important to know why are these reasons, so let me give you the reasonings. Let's start off with the A example. Shall we? It is a simple reason. The reason why you should here quick peek is if you miss the pre-fire, you will go back to the cover and be able to adjust for a possible re-peek. However, technically this is not quick peeking, as you're assuming that someone is there, whereas quick peeking is usually used to gather information. More about when to quick peek will be in a bit later. I mentioned leaning before the gunfight. Hence, we are now going for the villa example, the B one. If you know that someone is there, you should be leaning because you don't know if the player will move or not. In the server one, we were 99% sure if they will be holding the angle or not. Even if they're not holding the angle, they still won't be able to get an angle on us before our lean. However, if the villa corner pushes us, then we'll be pushed whilst not leaning. And since you obviously watch the angles guide but also for the common sense, you are at a disadvantage. Why shouldn't you be quick peeking in this situation? Because you don't know if someone might come off from a different angle. Sure, you can clear out the trophy and the statuary, but what guarantees that a defender won't get there whilst you're trying to quick peek the corner guy? This is the reason why you shouldn't be quick peeking even on the sea, if you don't know if someone is there. You cannot know if someone can peek you from the landing, trophy or astronomy in the meantime. For the D, due to the A, you want to pre-fire the guy by the floor and then clear the angles as smooth as possible for the arsenal angles. And the smoother clear is because of the same reasonings behind the B and C. You cannot know if someone will just come from the church double door, or if they will peek you from the left to the right side of the arsenal. Also, when you are holding the angle from the right side, hold it and don't quick peek as someone suggested. Now, when you hear the theoretical part, let's jump on the Pengu's clip that I have already used in the peeking guide video, but for a different purpose. Notice how he'll be on the leaning stance against the repelled guy, even when he re-peeks.
Nice. Push that.
Off rebel. I got the wrong gun for this dude.
Yeah, one rebel here. Okay, thank you.
Dead, that's sledge.
Yeah, nice. Still rifle on west side.
With this all being said, let me give you reasonings when you should be quick peeking, and there are a few of them. Quick peeking is done for the information when you don't have a drone, or at least not nearby. Quick peeking cannot be replaced by a drone. Which rooms to quick peek? Because in the example we have seen Villa and the clubhouse that we shouldn't be, even if we get some information from it. You should quick peek in the rooms that, the moment you clear out an angle, the defender or attacker cannot go to that area. Example will be on the theme park with face checking cafe. The way of how you should do that is to check this spot, where usually a shield is, check the far spot, and then, whilst leaning, clear out the full angle. Now, I have mentioned another way of quick peeking, combining quick peeking with leaning afterwards. That's how we clear out the cafe. But that's also how we will clear out the connector and the meeting at the consulate. First, we will be quick peeking the defender in the connector, just to check if someone is there. And if no one is there, you should be leaning to clear out the whole meeting. With this method, you are giving defenders the least time to get into the connector, as well as you're not letting them to peek you, as you're always leaning on the correct side. I have noted something important here. You can quick peek in a way just to check if someone is holding an angle on you. Usually if they are holding a tight angle, they'll try to shoot you. If they are holding a pixel angle, don't expect to be shot. Another example of when you shouldn't be quick peeking is an obvious one. You don't want to quick peek all the angles. You can continuously move through the angles as you are giving just more times to get in the freezer. Finally, for the theoretical part, when quick peeking, you're processing the stuff the moment you're going back to the cover, not when you're actually seeing what is in the room. So the moment you're going back to the cover, try to see if there is something unusual stuff in the room. Knowing how the map looks like really helps there. Sometimes, quick peeking is done to face check the rooms. I think I have covered all the important things, so let's see how to actually quick peek. I will add two things by the end, by the way. Most people lean on the default keybinds. I will show you two more methods with the different keybinds. The default is Q to lean on the left side, E to lean to the right, and then A to stray on the left and D to stray to the right. The only way to quick peek, assuming you want to quick peek on the right, is to press the following: D and A and E. On the left side, it will be A and Q, D and Q. I'm using the middle finger for the lean buttons. We didn't lean on the opposite side. I'll explain that later. Leaning on the opposite side is a bad method of quick peeking. The different keybinds could be the following too. Reverse Q and E. That means when you press Q, you will lean on the right side, and when you press E, you will lean on the left side. This might come handy because you won't need to use your middle finger for the lean button. That is a very simple method that could help you to quick peek better. Another setup for quick peeking can be C and V, to use the thumb instead of the middle finger. C should be leaning on the left and V on the right. This way you cannot fat finger with the middle finger, as middle finger is just next to the ring and the pointer finger, and therefore it causes the fat fingering. However, an issue over here will be where to bind, crouch and the melee button, assuming you are using the default keybinds. Crouch button could be assigned to the caps lock, whereas the melee button can be put by one of the mouse buttons. I don't think a handcam is anything useful here, as I told you which fingers to use for which setup. If you have your own unique setup, let us know down in the comment section. Also, you have to practice this in the T-Hunt. Without practice, it's going to be very hard to master it. Now, I need to explain very shortly why you shouldn't be leaning on the opposite side when leaning back to the cover. Example, if you are quick peeking on the right, why you shouldn't do D plus A plus Q, but just unlean, which is D plus A and A plus E. Imagine yourself fighting against a shotgun by the door of the moto drop on the clubhouse. If you want to fight this guy, do you want to lean on the left or the right side? The moment you're leaning on the opposite side during a quick peek, you are giving them the windows of opportunity for defenders to peek at you, whilst you are leaning on the opposite direction. Leaning on the opposite side does not make your head move quicker. The final thought, which is not as much related to this video but one of the previous, where I indirectly had shown two creators misinforming or giving bad advices to people about the quick peeking. One of their defense was how they didn't find anything bad regarding their video, as they have said in their video how they prefer the only method, or the only correct one. Now let me ask you a question. If I was here to tell you that for the vertical play, I prefer buck over sledge, does this mean that sledge is bad for the vertical play? Of course not. Just because I prefer buck over sledge, that doesn't mean sledge is bad. The same idea, just because they have said they prefer the correct method over the bad method, leaning on the opposite direction, in that video, you cannot say as the viewer that the method of leaning on the opposite direction is bad. Just because you prefer something, that doesn't mean the other stuff is bad. However, I do apologize for not giving them credit for the rest of the video. But I gave them the credits in the comment section, but I don't think that is enough. As most of their video, after they explained how to do the bad method, was actually good. So sorry about that. And by them, I mean just one person. The other person took it very immaturely. However, I will always inform you about the right information, no matter what it takes. Spreading misinformation is probably one of the worst things you, as a content creator, can do, and I will do my best to cut that out. If you ever find any examples in any other my videos very familiar, they are familiar to you for a reason. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk. Slightly unrelated to the video, but still related. And obviously, I'm not going to point fingers at any content creator. That's not the point of this TED Talk. The point of this is, if you don't know what you're talking about, don't talk. Thank you for watching this video and staying with me for this long, and thanks all the patrons and YouTube members for making this video available. If you want to learn all the basics and advanced things about the Siege, make sure to give me a like, subscribe and notification bell to get all notifications from my channel. Make sure to give me feedback down in the comment section below.